What is up, you political vigilantes? You're all making Gotham great again. Got some new lights, guys. Huh? How about it? Some nice shiny lights with some good network style shadowing. The way in the networks, there's a nice, the face pops out and I can lean in Brian Williams style and raise an eyebrow and lean in and talk about how great rockets are. You guys have helped support this show. Great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. For as little as $5 a month, you get bonus content. You get early access to the podcast. You get bonus video and audio every week. When Ron and I go on the road, I show you behind the scenes clips that you don't get to see anywhere else. It's exclusive. So it's a great way to support the show. Also, Rokfin.com/Graham Elwood. I put all the videos up on Rokfin and they're ad free. So for $10 a month, you get to watch all the premium content on Rokfin. And when you go through Rokfin.com/Graham Elwood, you're helping support me because I get residual income when you do that. Also, like and subscribe and watch the ads on YouTube all the way through. That is a great free way to support the show. When you click skip ad, I don't get paid. And you get to hear me report on stuff that I don't know if the mainstream media is doing this, right? They're giving everybody town halls on CNN, which is great. Of course, Bernie was smart enough to go on Fox as well. And so we're talking about Pete Buttigieg. They're really trying to force him down our throat. They tried Beto, and he danced on some tables, and everyone went, wait, isn't his name Robert Francis O'Rourke? So he's not Latino, he's an Irish dude? As I've said, if he gets to make himself Mexican, then I'm Paco Elwood. Elwood, Spanish for the wood. Look it up. So CNBC did some interviews of people in South Bend, where he is the mayor. Now he's been in downtown South Bend, and he's talked about how he's revitalized that town, and he's bringing in business and making it a tech hub, and those are some fine things. But the thing that Pete never really brings up is that there's a serious percentage of poor people, primarily Black and Latino, that he hasn't addressed. They interviewed somebody. What did the guy say? I ain't ever seen the dude. Never seen him in my neighborhood. Say Democratic presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg has left them behind. They interviewed this guy, Anthony Neely, and here's what he said. The shit looks the same every time I walk through here, Neely assessed somberly, though he acknowledged that the mayor was trying. Said he's trying. The teenager delivered a blunt conclusion. He's improved shit. 16-year-old kid. Shit looks the same every time I walk through here. See that? Corporate neoliberalism. He's a naval intelligence officer who speaks 7 languages. That sounds like CIA to me. He worked for a big consulting firm. You know, consulting firms, what they do. They help the kleptocracy stay in power, and they consult and run up fees to do that. And if you were the mayor of a town that had poor neighborhoods, wouldn't that be the priority? Right? Wouldn't that what you would do? If I became the mayor of Los Angeles, I wouldn't find okay neighborhoods to revitalize. I would go to the poorest neighborhood and say, we're starting here. This one needs to be fixed first. And we're bringing businesses into this poor neighborhood, and they've got to be locally owned. We're not gentrifying. We're not having developers come in and push people out. Local businesses, small business loans, and this neighborhood is going to start to get cleaned up by the neighborhood. We're not going to jack up rents to force people out. We're not going to do any of those things. That's what I would do if I was mayor of Los Angeles or South Bend, Indiana. You want to be president and you couldn't even fix a bad neighborhood or two in South Bend, Indiana. I hate to break it to you, friend. The United States is a little bit bigger than South Bend, Indiana. Just a touch, just a hair. The skepticism has dogged him on the campaign trail too. Buttigieg has struggled to attract diverse audiences at rallies so far in his campaign. It is an issue Buttigieg said he is very intent on fixing. Oh, see, neoliberals, if you have policies that help people, why does Bernie have 25,000 people at his rallies? Because he's like, I'm Medicare for all, free college tuition. That helps everybody. So imagine if you're that kid, that 16-year-old kid that's like, Buttigieg ain't done shit, and you tell him if Bernie becomes president, you're going to get free health care and you're going to go to college. He's going to go, I'm in. I'm in. Not no policy Pete, platitude Pete. Platitudes don't fix neighborhoods. How is he going to address it? His performance among poor and minority voters has weighed on him since early national polls too, particularly as his economic record in South Bend comes into greater focus. I'm so grateful actually for the internet because we get to find this information that the mainstream media probably might not be reporting. You know? Are they going to really go into Steve Mnuchin's money that he gave to Kamala Harris's campaign? No, they're going to talk about Bernie's a millionaire. He made $1 million 2 years in a row by selling a book, which Fox News is like, well, they're selling a book. Isn't that capitalism? Like, I don't know what they think socialism. In socialist economy, you get paid to do jobs. If you write a book in a socialist, you get paid for it. You get paid for it. South Bend's Northwest, pocked by vacant lots, broken curbs, and blighted by streets that residents say have gone unpaved for years. He's been in office 5 years now as mayor. Is a world away from the sleek, revitalized downtown at the center of Buttigieg's audacious argument for placing himself as the highest office in the land. While everything seems to be new and bustling with energy downtown and many other neighborhoods, the city's economic life is in a holding pattern. Okay, you revitalized downtown, but what about these other neighborhoods? In South Bend, where more than half of the city's residents last year said that their neighborhoods hadn't improved over the previous 5, according to a survey data in the South Bend Tribune. 5 years, nothing's improved? Not one thing? Not one new building? Not, well, we fixed this park, they put a thing, there's affordable housing, nothing? Nothing. Not one? We brought in this business and, it gave 100 people jobs. Nothing? Nothing. I guess it's, when you're picked by the deep state to run against progressives, I guess you don't have time to fix poor neighborhoods. Buttigieg's most consequential economic initiative, dubbed 1,000 houses, it's hard to find someone who thinks otherwise. In 2013, Buttigieg pledged to knock down or repair virtually all of the city's vacant homes, an ambitious proposal that went beyond what experts at the time thought possible. The program concentrated on the city's lowest income Black and Hispanic neighborhoods, where homes were in despair. About 4 in 10 residents of South Bend are Black or Hispanic, and those groups are far more likely to be burdened by the cost of housing and to be unemployed, a 2017 report on the city's racial wealth divide found. So he pulled these homes down, right? Okay, we're going to get rid of the vacant homes. Well, that's a bold plan. I'll give you credit for that. Well, many say they are glad the abandoned houses came down. They lament the lack of a plan for what would fill their place. And they say the project led to a number of unintended consequences, some involving health scares that persist to this day and reflect a lack of attention to their impoverished parts of town. I tell you what that smells like. We're going to get rid of the vacant homes, and then developers are going to come in. We're going to put in overpriced things. We're going to push people out, and then we're going to say we revitalize these neighborhoods by gentrifying them. That's how they do it. They've done this all throughout Los Angeles and cities all throughout America. That's what that is. So how come Pete doesn't have, like he has a plan, but I feel like maybe he lacks like actual policy.
On the one hand, you definitely speak very progressively, but you don't have like a lot of super specific policy ideas.
Yeah, part of where the left and the center left have gone wrong is we've been so policy led that we haven't been as philosophical. We like to think of ourselves as the intellectual ones, but the truth is the right has done a better job in my lifetime of connecting up its philosophy and its values to its politics. Right now, I think we need to articulate the values, lay out our philosophical commitments, and then develop policies off of that. And I'm working very hard not to put the cart before the horse.
Is there time for that? You know, they want the list. They want to know exactly what you're going to do.
I think it can actually be a little bit dishonest to think you have it all figured out on day one. Look, I think anybody in this race or conversation is going to be a hell of a lot more specific and policy oriented than, say, the current president. But I don't think we ought to have that all kind of locked in on day one.
Yeah. Let's take a page out of the GOP's playbook. Let's remember when the GOP was the psychopath right wing, just let the corporations pull that party far right. That's what you're saying we should do? Yeah, right. Good, real heads up centrism there, Pistol Pete. Yeah, that's my boy, No Policy Pete. Fantastic. No Policy Pete. Fantastic. Yeah, because you don't want policies that actually help people. You know when you say Medicare for all and free college tuition? And people go, yeah, I want those things. And then, oh, how are you going to pay for it? Here's how we're going to pay for it. Cut the military budget. And I know it's hard on this presidential campaign to start if Bernie were to start trying to put MMT in there, that might confuse people. I'm not bothered that he's not always bringing up MMT. I brought it up here. I have an MMT playlist if you want to get more information on all the people I've interviewed, numerous interviews with Jeff Epstein from Citizens Media TV and Fidel Kaboub and all these economists. So there is that. If you know MMT, there's a clear solution. We don't even have to have this, how you're going to pay for it. But for purposes of assuming the federal government can't write its own money the way it actually can, let's stick with this, how you're going to pay for it from a tax and spend budgetary issue, okay? As Bernie laid out in the Fox Town Hall. First of all, I did a video. There's 60 companies in the Fortune 500 that have upwards of $80 billion in combined profits that paid $0 in taxes. That's one way to pay for it. Actually let billionaire corporations pay taxes. And on top of that, those companies got tax breaks. So they didn't pay and they got a break. Let's have them pay and get rid of the tax breaks for starters, right? Let billionaires pay their fair share in taxes. Let's cut the military budget down. Boom. There. It's paid for. Invest money in our infrastructure. I'm down with that. Pete Buttigieg isn't. No Policy Pete. Can't even fix bad neighborhoods in a small college town in Indiana. Thanks for watching.